Hello y'all, this is the Ninja DC. Today I thought I would experiment a little by introducing a new Laca subtype, a Brony explains drones. Where I, a Brony, explain the intricacies of Game of Thrones and the A Song of Ice and Fire fandom. Because nothing goes together like friendship is magic in a series whose catchphrase is all men must die. Then again, given the cult to mare ratio, they might have more in common than I thought. Anyway, I thought I would kick it off with the fandom's biggest theory. In fact, I would go so far to say it's the biggest theory of any modern fandom. How well known is it? Well...
If you put any spoilers in the comments, I'll kill you. But to all my book bros, R+L J. You know what I'm talking about.
If you're a Thrones fan or have read the episode's title or at the very least paid attention to the last clip, you know the theory I'm talking about is R+L J. A theory with a higher support rate amongst book fans than evolution. I'm not really joking about that one. Now, the show's cut a lot of the foreshadowing details and backstories because of, well, time and also characters, so a few key stories are lost. Today I'll mostly go over 3 of them. It's not necessarily book spoilers as they are all events that have happened thus far, even before episode 1, but nonetheless spoiler warning ahead as I let you decipher what is R+L J. First off, let's discuss an event mildly discussed in the show, the Tournament of Harrenhal, where 2 key things happen in terms of R+L J, amongst a million other mini events in this pre-Robert Rebellion tournament. First is the event that was discussed in the show when Rhaegar Targaryen, after winning the tournament, passed over his wife and crowned Lyanna Stark the Queen of Love and Beauty. To put in perspective, a tournament's champion in Westeros essentially gets to pick their Princess of the Fall formal. However, what preceded this is even more interesting. Howland Reed, a character we have yet to see in the books or show, came to Harrenhal as a young teen. Book and show fans will likely know him as Jojen and Mara Reed's father. Reed, upon arriving at Harrenhal, was bullied by several squires for being a cragnomen, a short in stature subgroup in the north that can best be summarized as swamp ninjas. I'm not joking at all about that because they are pretty awesome if Mira is not any example. He was rescued from his bullies by, well, Lyanna Stark, who chased away said squires with a training sword. Yeah, Lyanna Stark is no Sansa, and has directly been compared to Arya in terms of looks and personality, which likely means that Arya in the end will have looks that will be comparable to Cleopatra. She was also a great horsewoman and said to be half horse. Fun fact, Jaime says half of all jousting is horsemanship. Back on tangent, the rest of the Starks take Howland in, because, well, they're Starks. However, the next day, a mysterious knight in disjointed armor wearing a werewood crest challenges the squires that are bullying Howland Reed with a very Batman-like fake voice. They defeat the squires and order their knights to teach them humility, which pretty much means beat them up some. And they leave before being forced to reveal their identity. However, the soon-to-be Mad King Aerys orders his son, Rhaegar, to find said knight, but all he returns with is their shield. This is a day before he crowns Lyanna Queen of Love and Beauty. Coincidence? Yeah, not likely. Most fans believe that he found out Lyanna was a werewood knight, and that is why he crowned her the Queen of Love and Beauty. Sorry, I can't afford to be coy here, we really need to move on. If you want to know more, just use, well, Google. This leads into the events that led up to Robert's Rebellion. Several months after Harrenhal, or a year or 2, Lyanna Stark was kidnapped by Rhaegar Targaryen, and also I say kidnapped as that comes from Robert's perspective, who was engaged her at the time. We don't know the exact specifics, as both Lyanna and, well, Rhaegar both die in the end. Yeah, spoilers on that front. What we do know is Lyanna really detested Robert, as she told Ned she knew he was not the sort of man to keep to one bed. Yeah, good call on that. Now this did not directly start the war, but led to protests by Ned's older brother and father, to which the Mad King responded by barbecuing Ned's father over a wildfire and strangling his brother to death. This is the definition of things escalating quickly. Several months pass, say 8 to 10, and the rebellion is all but over. Rhaegar is dead, the Mad King is dead, Rhaegar's children and wife are brutally dead. This brings us to the last battle of the war, where Ned and 6 close friends meet the 3 remaining King's Guard outside the Tower of Joy and Dorne. This includes the captain of the King's Guard, Sir Gerald Hightower, and the greatest swordsman of Westeros history, Sir Arthur Dayne, who is an obvious analogy for King Arthur. He even has a magical sword. No joking. Ned offers to let them go and protect Dany and more specifically her brother Viserys, the new apparent heir. They refuse as Kingsguard do not flee. A battle follows and only Ned and Howland survive. If you want a full recap of this, please follow the link below to an audio read of it. It will put hair on your chest with its sheer level of badassery. However, when Ned finally enters the tower, he finds his sister dying in a bed of blood. Her final breath, she makes Ned make her a promise that will haunt him till the day he dies. So by now, you are probably starting to put the pieces together. R+L = J is a theory that means Rhaegar plus Lyanna equals Jon. As in, Rhaegar and Lyanna are Jon's true parents, and trust me, there's a lot more evidence to be brought up. The R+L = J pinned thread on Westeros' forum is at over 100 threads. No, I did not misread that. They have to create a new thread when there are so many pages to a thread that starts to get glitchy. Hell, like with MLP, the answer to the series' main question could very well be in the series title itself, as Jon's birth as a half Targ and half Stark could be easily described as a song of ice and fire. So what does this mean? What are the future implications? Well, there is no straightforward answer as the series is still being written and with a million different factors. However, there are several general potential routes. One is he dies. Yeah, this is a Game of Thrones after all. However, Jon is currently, as of the 5th book, in the middle of his hero's journey. So while he might die at the end of the story's 7th book or 7th season, it won't likely be before then. The second route is the symbolic or prophecy route, which I call it that as the route is defined by Jon's parentage, allowing him to meet the requirements for a prophecy in a symbolic way. Say he is Azor Ahai Reborn or The Last Hero 2.0. However, I don't think this is the main route, as one of George's biggest criticisms about Lord of the Rings is heroes simply being born to rule. So while I feel that symbolism or fulfilling a prophecy will be important, it won't be the most important. The third and most likely route in my mind is a political route, in that Jon being half Targ and half Stark opens up great potentials in terms of alliances which might come in handy in the coming ice zombie apocalypse. This could be in the form of him simply being the mediator to both sides or part of a marriage alliance. And before fans groan, if Jon does go in the marriage route, it will be a pure political match and not romantic. Jon's pursuit of romance pretty much died with Ygritte. And the final route is the king route, where he simply becomes, well, king. Now, I do consider Jon the most likely main character to take the throne, but he has a 10% chance compared to everyone else's 5 and 8% chance sort of thing. The main reason is Jon has a good combination of blood, experience, and the fact he would bucking hate it. I've already explained the blood part, but the experience comes from his collection of royal teachers that would make even Twilight Sparkle blush. First, he was taught by Ned Stark, who ran the North so well, a maiden was said to be able to walk the length of the North naked without fear of being molested. Considering that's not true even modern day, yeah, that's one hell of an accomplishment. And at the Wall he has learned from Lord Commander Mormont, Aemon Targaryen, the King Beyond the Wall, and the Manus, just to name a few. And the reason I consider him not wanting the throne an advantage is it adds a sense of irony to the story, and irony is the backbone of fiction. What I mean is, I don't believe anyone currently pursuing the throne will take it, as a Game of Thrones is toxic if you have not noticed by now, and it also would be rather anticlimactic. This is a series defined by characters getting what they want, only to realize it's not what they need or want at all, not getting what they always pursued and being happy with it. Not to mention Jon taking the throne would fit with George's discussed bittersweet ending. He would be king, sure, but king of a near bankrupt kingdom heavily in debt that would require his full attention, and keep him likely from ever returning to Winterfell, his home that he always really wanted to be at. So yeah, regardless of the route, the revelation will be big and have significant ramifications in future seasons and books. So even if Jon does not become king, he will have influence in who does. That, and more importantly, deal with the coming ice zombie apocalypse. About time to get on that, people. Well, this is the Ninja DC. Keep calm and an open mind.